Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Well, today we're continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. And today specifically, I wanted to read you an article that is quoting a former British general. And today's episode is also going to be looking closely at things happening in the United Kingdom, or what could happen in the United Kingdom. Now, here's the article. "It's healthy not to want to fight," says General Sir Richard Barons. "But young British people may have to realize they have to be conscripted if war erupts between NATO and Russia. The British people," that's twice now, we've heard British people, "must be prepared for military conscription in making other sacrifices to defend the UK if Russia attacks." It's interesting. We transitioned from NATO to if Russia attacks the UK. A former senior Army commander has warned, "The armed forces are wafer thin and must be rebuilt because they are so small in terms of equipment, so undertrained, so badly supported," General Sir Richard Barons told. But with the Kremlin's invasion of Ukraine grinding into a third year, and Donald Trump talking about abandoning NATO allies in Europe if he becomes U.S. president, the retired officer said that civilians must also consider how they would contribute if war broke out. Politicians and military leaders are right to start this conversation with the public to build resilience and increase national deterrence against Vladimir Putin, General Sir Richard said. He supported the recent comments from General Sir Patrick Sanders, the serving head of the Army, who suggested last month that the UK should lay the foundation for national mobilization. General Sir Richard, who was commissioned into the Royal Regiment of Artillery in 1977, served as Deputy Chief of Defense of Staff and led Joint Forces Command before retiring in 2016. He said the country needs to snap out of thinking war is always an away game. He said he understood why anyone under 40 would find it hard to contemplate a national call to arms, having grown up enjoying the peace dividend of the post-Cold War world. But if relations with Russia continue to deteriorate, military mobilization is not unthinkable. It's just unpalatable, he said. In the interview, he explained, "It is alien, but only in our lifetimes, not in our ancestors' lives. My father did national service. In the mobilization of civil society, you start with volunteers. If the war is not over and you've run out of volunteers, then you have to conscript people." This is entirely historically normal. You're not mobilizing because you're going to invade somebody else's country. You're mobilizing because someone is threatening yours and your family and your livelihood. Now remember that. You're not mobilizing because you're invading somebody else's country. You're mobilizing because someone is threatening yours and your family and your livelihood. If we were to go to war with a power like Russia, we would have to secure the homeland, guarding things. We would have to play a bigger part in deterrence and fighting on continental Europe. We would take casualties. They have to be replaced. And we would have to endure. The war might go on for years, in which case you're going to rotate people, and we would need to sustain that. Today's youngsters may think, "I don't want to fight." That's a healthy feeling. They may think, "I don't have to fight." Well, that's true today. But in the future, if their security, their life prospects, and anyone they care about is in jeopardy because people are firing missiles at them, dismantling their power supply with cyber attacks, and committing the sorts of atrocities you see in Ukraine, then they'll fight. They'll fight because they don't have any choice. He said it was worth remembering how British forces and spending expanded during the Second World War. In 1939, the British Army had 225,000 regulars and about 810,000 reservists. By D-Day in 1944, it had 2.9 million people in uniform. All right. So, I hate to break it to you, United Kingdom. I hate to turn the light on if the light is not already on. But you've already been invaded. It has started. London is essentially occupied. Do you think these obviously nice gentlemen roaming the streets of London, establishing Sharia law, forcibly converting individuals to their quote-unquote faith, do you think these gentlemen are going to be conscripted and forced to fight in Ukraine or wherever else this individual, Sir Richard Barons, was talking about? Do you think these guys are going to go and fight with the British people? No, they're not. You will be there, but these fine gentlemen will be back home with your women and children. You think these guys are going to be conscripted into the British military and head towards Eastern Europe? No, they're perfectly happy on the dole, taking from the average British taxpayer. Britain, you've already been invaded. It has already happened and is happening. And right now, unfortunately for the British people, you are not firing one shot nor doing anything to reverse this attack. These guys are present in your country en masse, subjugating you. We are now seeing British men, women, the quote-unquote indigenous population of England being arrested for simply displaying the Union Jack. Because these fine gentlemen are offended and they see it as a hate crime for flying your flag. So yes, as you go to Ukraine, as you are deployed to Eastern Europe, you can be rest assured that the conquest of England will continue. And is continuing. En masse. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Very interesting article to read, while at the same time we compare and contrast what is happening on the ground in the English capital, London, and other places as well. And it's just not London. It's just not the United Kingdom. It's Ireland. It's France. It's Germany. You have been betrayed by your political leadership. They have allowed this invasion to occur. And now they're talking about sending you the actual citizenry of the United Kingdom to go fight in other wars. While again, these fine gentlemen take care of your women and children. Have a good day.